18th of May 2024, they've done it. Bayer Leverkusen is the unbeaten Bundesliga champion. But out of all the amazing people who made this accomplishment possible, one name stands out: Florian Wirtz. Leverkusen's number 10 was the star of the show, but who was he really? Florian Wirtz is from Pulheim, the suburban area of Köln, of which city he will be trained for 10 years, going through the youth teams one by one. But when the time came, he went back to the suburbs and joined Bayer Leverkusen, where he would make his professional debut on the 18th May 2020. A couple days later, he will become on as a sub against none other than Bayern Munich and score in the 89th minute to become the youngest Bundesliga goalscorer ever. After 2 top-level years from 2023 to 2025 and playing the Euros with Germany, he would be considered by some as the best attacking midfielder in the world. That's why Liverpool will sign him, paying a fee of 125 million euros to Leverkusen. With that kind of money, expectations were high, and he will fail to directly play at the same level that is being known for now. Stuff that would not be surprising considering the jump from Bundesliga to the Premier League, but instead, as it often happens in England, mockeries began on social media. He was clowned week in and week out for the main reason that he didn't instantly deliver on the field. Now we shall see, with the help of statistics, if his situation really is that bad. Now, before we dive in, I would like to say that in the last couple of weeks, it's been better for him. After 2 good games against Brighton and Tottenham, he finally scored a goal at Anfield, salvaging an embarrassing display from Liverpool against relegation-deemed Wolverhampton. He scored again 8 days later against Fulham, so he seems on a way of improvement. Now, let's see what the numbers say. We will begin by comparing his form of this season against last season to see if he's really fallen off a cliff. Let's see about his finishing. This stat is simply the difference between his expected goals and the goals he scored, converted in percentage. And we can see it's pretty catastrophic, honestly. He went from a good finisher to wondering if he ever shot the ball. That can be for many reasons, but what I would think is that it's been a mental struggle for him more than anything really. Probably struggling to keep his cool in front of the goal like he used to. Now, his expected assists. He's dropped off too, but we'll see later on that it's far from catastrophic this time around. But now his goal creating action is pretty worrying. This is the amount of action leading to a goal that he created per 90 minutes, but that can be explained by some other factors like his teammates, for example. By now, you have seen that I like to use the per 90 version of statistics a lot, and that is simply because it doesn't make much sense to me to look at stats without taking playing time into account. Now we go into the more on-the-ball stuff that we like so much about number 10s. We can see that he has much less progressive carries than last season, but that is mainly due to how Liverpool are playing in the moment and the fact that the Bundesliga is a championship with much more runs with the ball than the Premier League. And now, ladies and gents, I must say to you that the media ungracefully lied to you once again. Florian Wirtz has improved at something. Yes, finally. He loses the ball much less than the last season. We can see that he has less miscontrols and is less oftenly dispossessed. That's what these 2 stats are about. That is good, but explained by the fact that he's less daring in his approach of the defender than last year, which is a bit sad, honestly, when we know how good he is at eliminating his opponents. Now, about defending for a bit, we can see that he has a bit less interceptions this season, but that's simply because he's not 100% used to the way the ball moves around in the Premier League, I'd say. When you watch him, you know how many pressing runs he's making, so perhaps his pressing quality needs just a bit more precision. Now, I have crafted a statistic of my own to see if Florian Wirtz is a good addition to the squad when he's on the pitch. You know how we watch the difference of goals scored and given? Well, I bring that down to a game of time, and it tells us that on average, Liverpool scores 0.133 goals more than his opponents, but when Wirtz is on the pitch, that value is up to 0.429, which is a lot more, believe me. So by that, we can be certain that Wirtz is one of the better players of the squad. This season, Wirtz was probably not helped by the fact that he's been used in many offensive positions. He mainly played as an attacking midfielder, but we've seen him a lot on the left wing, and we've even seen him give 2 assists in a game as a right winger in a 4-4-2. If we look at his WhoScored.com ratings, we can see that his best position is by far the left wing this season. And by the way, that rating is better than Gakpo's 7.10 as the starting left winger, which is already a pretty good rating. Now, let's compare Lil Uzi Vert to some similar profiles and to Dominic Soboslai, who he is competing with for the position of number 10. On this slide, if we sort finishing, we can see that it's pretty catastrophic, as I said before. We have three real special players in terms of finishing. His finishing is by far his worst metric this season, being 2 times worse than Xavi, Simons, Utz, especially knowing how much better than him he was last season. However, Simons has been struggling a bit too this season, maybe because they're both from the Bundesliga. Now, about expected assists. He clearly is amongst the best, and by the way, I have no idea how Yeremy Pino is that high, but anyway. We can compare that to his goal-creating actions, where he's now poorly rated, and that confirms that most of the guys at Liverpool who are entrusted to score have been stinking of poo this season, meaning he could have more assists than what he has now. Now, carrying the ball. His progressive carries are on the lower sides, but again, might not be too worrying, since it's a lot about how Arne Slot tells him to play. Paired with the dispossessions, we can conclude that he's pretty decent with the ball, which isn't exactly what we see on socials, where we are subject to many lowlights compilations crafted by Man United and Everton fans, showing once again how easy it is to send an image of a player by selecting clips. Watch games, people. Now, interceptions. Pretty low amount, but he's above the likes of Foden or Eze, who has played as a bit deeper playmaker, so, it can improve. It will improve. We shall see. We must now conclude with some openings, and first question is, should Arne Slot fully commit to playing him as a left winger? That would probably be a yes, since we've seen how much impact he has from there. Also, it will leave more space for Soboslai to play as an attacking midfielder instead of a right winger, which he clearly isn't. Liverpool fans, I am telling you to keep hoping for better, because it will come, at least from Florian Wirtz. We mustn't forget that he's only 22 years old, and that he has already proven an immense quality even this season with the Mannschaft. So yes, as a conclusion, keep Florian in your scout prayers and he will rise and shine as many did at this club. Cheers.